Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, we are going to show you how to frame out the crawl space. Starting with squaring up your sill plates, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 step downs just in the crawl space, plus number 7 over on the garage. I'm standing on pony walls. We use PWT treated LVL, Simpson Strong-Tie Titans to anchor all of our sill plates. We're gonna show you how to shoot corners in level for your pony walls so that the floor is nice and flat. And we're even gonna show you how to put down the vapor retarder at this point because it's a whole lot easier before the floor. And we insulated this. So this is an unvented or sealed crawl space assembly. We're gonna show you all of that in this video, including some tips and tricks on how to square up the mud sill. It was just Jordan and me that day. What did we take, about 3 hours? It went pretty well. We did a great job, if I do say so myself. Right, Jordan?
It was excellent.
It was excellent. Jordan even said it was excellent. So let's get right into it. Okay, we're gonna go 1/2 inch in and a 1/2 inch in, just right here. So I'm not too far off. So this is what I imagine would have made me a great helicopter pilot. I mean, look at these skills, Jordan. So is that close enough, or should I? Probably moved it. Okay, I feel like that's pretty good. That now we'll just go press the remote crosshairs for a few seconds. Hey, top of the morning to you, everybody. So here's what our setup is. We are here, Stabila LA 180, you know, a couple feet above. So what we're doing is we're squaring all the way across the back. Let me zoom in on where Jordan's at. So he's set up way over there. That's 55 feet away, I think. I can't remember. And then once that's square, we'll mark. We're already at reference point here, and then we can mark our steps, plumb down, and connect the dots. So that is the thought process. Right now it is just self-squaring. Here is the dot. Okay. We have missile lock, Mav. Boom. Okay. So normally what we would do is we would cut a foot to the blue line. That is the most accurate because then you can, because I'm going to pull it really tight. What's nice about it is it's rechargeable. Okay, yeah, we're right there. Okay, 44 foot 11. Okay, this thing turned out to be a bit of a nightmare to square. Can you spare a square? There's a joke there somewhere.
3 squares? You can't spare 3 squares? No, I don't have a square to spare. I can't spare a square. Well, is it 2 ply? Because if it's 2 ply, I'll take 1 ply. 1 ply. 1 puny little ply. I'll take 1 measly ply. Look, I don't have a square and I don't have a ply.
So let me just show you the basic thought process. We always set up in the biggest square. So that's 44 feet. We shoot across all the way there. I think that's 55 or 56 feet, I can't remember. We snap out what we can. Because we had it up high, we could hit all of the steps. So plumb down, connect the dots, and snap the line. We could go dead parallel from that to this wall, which is like a 28-foot wall. But because of this step down, we couldn't really get to this corner. So we set the laser here. It is now parallel to that. We snapped this line, detector there. Takes like 30 seconds to set up. Because it's the LA 180, it shoots down here. Once that was done, then we take this guy and we reverse them. We use the same reference point, put this guy over on that wall, so it's the same reference point, and we rely on the accuracy of this to shoot square. Then we don't have to try and pull tape measures because we didn't have that wall yet. We have this wall, and then because this is set up, it also shoots over to there. So we just ran a string line from there right through here, and now we can parallel back, connect the dots, connect the dots. So this wall being dead parallel to that wall means that that was our reference. This is now a reference, dead parallel, and we trust the laser on square since we're just setting it up. So if it was set up there for this wall, the same, you know, parallel run, then shooting square. And if we needed to, we could take the detector over there and put a mark, but there's nothing over there that we need to worry about. Okay, framers were known for being donkey wise, you know, like horses, but even smarter. All right, so that last video probably didn't make a whole lot of sense. If it did, great, but let's see if we can't clarify that a little bit. This is a foundational principle of framing. Ah, pun. That was a Michael Scott moment. I did not intend that. Okay, so we are looking at the foundation plan. That top right corner, that's where we start. The reason is because our right-hand wall and our back line, those two walls are our longest walls. That means that when I set the laser up on this corner, I set the detector up on this corner, that allows me to align the back. That is a perfectly straight line. That is super accurate with that LA180, LA180L. With the laser, once I've aligned it with the detector on that top left corner, back of the garage, that automatically gives me square. And because we had it higher, then we could just sit there and go like we talked about at all of those step downs. Once we have this square, there's the sign for square. Now all I have to do is pull from right to left, put a measurement, right to left, put a measurement, and connect those dots. That means that this wall is dead parallel to the wall on the right. Now let me just get rid of those. So what I did is I set the laser up now here, and I could set the detector up here, and now it's aligned, which allowed me to shoot down to that corner. Then I could plumb down the step down and connect the dots. Then we just reverse it. We set the laser here, use that same reference line to align it, and now I can shoot square and square. I can come all the way through those corners if I need to. I can also shoot all the way from here to there. Because of the step downs on this back, this allowed me to go parallel to here. I can go parallel here, and now just connect those dots. So let me just go back to the basic principle being, now that we have our back line and our side wall, those are 90 degrees to each other, then that means I just take measurements here and here, then I can connect the dots. Off of the back, I can measure here and here, connect the dots. For this side wall, I can take a measurement from right to left, there, right to left here, connect those dots. So we're understanding the principle of square. Across the back, I can measure right to left from here. Let's see, from here, right to left, same identical measurement. And what that guarantees is when we use the same measurement and we start from the square, then everything just becomes a series of offset lines, including the strip footings. So from the back, I just take a measurement the same, and this is how we're connecting the dots. And then I think we went from here to there with the strip footing when we adjusted it. That is the principle of square and parallel. And the Stabila LA180 is a must-have tool, in my opinion, especially if you're a custom home builder. A lot of times custom homes tend to have more corners and different elevations. Those beams, they fan out. They're not dots, they fan out, and it's a very accurate laser. It's more accurate than you and I can possibly be with a tape measure. So hopefully that helped. So clear as mud. Maybe on YouTube we'll go through this with the blueprints and just show you. But basically what I learned from Rich over at Stabila, we did a lumberyard event in Sacramento a couple years back. And he just deep dive into the LA180 layout station. Things I didn't know, ways to use it I never thought of. And once that happened, it is like, that is a tool you should own. We've had it since 2017. It just can make things so simple. So anyway, happy Monday, everybody. Hey, top of the morning to you, everybody. It is 7:55. So let me show you what we are up to. This is an unvented crawl space. So we are running the vapor retarder. This is an ISI product. We're running that on top of the wall. Let me just show you. This is what the double-sided tape looks like. So we'll just peel that liner. So as we go along, So we got here a little after 7, you know, rolled out, ran the double-sided tape, and now we're doing this stuff. And this is fast. So we're gonna put all the vapor retarder up, then the mudsill, then the insulation, then the pony walls before we get started on any of this. So stay tuned. This is mostly just to track how long this takes us. So right now, 7:55. Okay, we are kind of at a point. We used to be framers. We used to get to frame. We used to build things. Now we do all this kind of stuff. And if we're being honest, we really hate this kind of stuff. But whatever, that's the job. We're just trying to self-perform as much as we can. So let me catch you up. Here, let me, and we're positive. Hey everybody, let me show you what we're up to. So, it really didn't take that long, but the corners, and what's really kind of a challenge for us is we have, you can't see it because it's hidden by the plastic, but you have footing step down, and the way that the bank comes in. Anyway, we're just, you gotta smile or else you'd go crazy. No, and it's just one of those things where we can't really clean up because the truck is still full of stuff like the truss jib and the planks, and so, you know, this first week is as much organization as it is doing anything. So, but it is only 9:58, so. Okay, so I'm going to give you a sneak peek at kind of the progress where we are at for a future video. So as of now, the second floor is framed. We just got to take the braces down. We'll get into what that is down the road. This video is just a quick walkthrough. Lots of big rake walls to build. We're going to show that in future videos. And what I want to show you as I run upstairs is that our goal is to minimize the amount of work at heights. So we are balloon framing everything. And we're going to show you that whole process as we go. So that wall was 2 stories high. That wall behind me, this guy. And so here's what it looks like upstairs. We went ahead and set the ridge beam because we don't have access with the forklift. I don't want anybody to be up super high. So anyway, there is where we're at. We're going to cover all that in future videos. This week's video is sponsored by Squarespace. As you know, I've been using Squarespace. It's going to be 6 years here in just a couple of months. It is the easiest thing, one of the easiest things I've ever done. It's even easier now with the AI tools. So here's my personal opinion. Everybody needs a website. You need it as a landing page that maybe points people to your gallery, your services, what sets you apart. But we don't really have time. I'm busy framing, editing content. I don't have a whole lot of time for that kind of stuff. So that's why I went with Squarespace back in 2020. That's why I still use Squarespace. So head on over to Squarespace because you can use the coupon code AwesomeFramers to save 10% off a domain or your first website. Just give it a try. Just go set something up quickly. If it seems easy to you, then keep going. Squarespace.com/awesomeframers. All right, so let's set some mudsill, and we're going to show you Awesome Framer's way of doing it. It's a little different than everybody else. So this is PWT treated LVL, and I am pinning that mudsill in place with the Max HN120 high pressure wood to concrete or wood to steel. A couple things I want you to notice is that as I go, I'm just going to go ahead and cut the corners. The factory ends weren't square enough. So instead of taking any measurements, just bring your saw with you, or do this all after the fact, either way. But I can just cut that mudsill, which is exactly 5.5. It's not 5 5/8 like pressure treated. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just nail it to the line. We're gonna add Simpson Strong-Tie Titans later, but you notice there, I've essentially ordered a piece of this for every wall. And I like to just pin it all in place. And you notice I brought my saw. I'm gonna cut it off as I go. I'm gonna try to manage my scrap. Instead of a tape measure, just scribe the line with your square. No wanes, it's lightweight. It is awesome material to work with. Now, because we are doing a sealed crawl space, as we mentioned, we had to put the vapor, this is all like very specific sequence of operations. So we had Kyle doing the mudsill, and Jordan and we pulled off to start doing the power wool. This is a little different than the rock wool that we've used in the past. It's 2 layers of 2-inch to make 4 inches total. That's, I forget what nail gun that is. It's just a gas-powered nailer, and those are plastic pins that they have a little 1-inch nail in them. So when you order them for the thickness of the insulation. That nozzle on the nailer just fits in there, and it's like a powder actuated tool. So think if you've ever used a pass load nailer, it's basically the same thing in principle, but with the longer nail. Now, as we did the insulation, what we did is we staggered the seams. So you notice that top and bottom. And it doesn't matter, I have no idea, but we just did it. And with 2 of us, man, we are fast.
Hey, top of the afternoon to you, everybody. It is 1:36 and 29 seconds. It is getting a little hot out here. It's about 80. Kyle is working on, check that out. Kyle is doing all the mudsill plating. Jordan and we are insulating machines. So this is the power wool. They're 2 foot by 4 foot, and they are 2 inches thick. So what we're doing is we are staggering all of the seams, top and bottom, right? Isn't that just best practice for eliminating thermal bridging or drastically reducing it? So I think this nets out to be, Christ. I think each one of these was R8.4, so 16.8. So we got 16.8 on the walls, and we are just pinning it into place. And it don't take Jordan long to learn. We do all the pre-staging, and then we just fly. Fly like the wind. Like the wind. All right, we're a little toasty. So here's what we got done. This was after lunch, mind you. And that's all double layered because they're 2 inches thick. So in the morning with the shade, we'll work on that. It's done all the way around. I don't know, you can't see that. It's done all the way around to the corner. Oh, I got a call from Steve Basic Architect. Okay, so 16 foot minus 1.5 inches, burning that for the panel. I'm gonna mark center. I'll do this down here. So 31 foot, 10.5 is center. Well, I don't really need both of these, so. Hey Jordan, think fast. All right, I don't really need both of these. Jordan, think fast. It has been a rough start to the day. I was up all night. I'm still sick. Sleeping in a chair, trying to. I was just up all night. Anyway, that's not why you're here. So, positivity face. Here we go, everybody. It's been a great day. Happy hump day. So where we are at is all of the insulation's done. The crawl's cleaned out. We're getting ready to do pony walls. So I got the far wall. Well, it's all laid out now. And my approach is to pull tape measure and use the laser plumb dot. And that's how you can keep your layout consistent. Here is the PWT treated LVL. It is perfect. We like it. And what's great, see there's the PWT treated LVL. Look at this. Just with the Pica Dry. I can see my marks. That might not sound like a big thing, but man, with pressure treated, hate that stuff. Anyway.
So if you missed the stories last week, let me just show you what we decided to do. In full disclosure, we are partnering with PWT. So 2x6 treated LVL. I can order a stick based on every single wall. That is exactly what we did. So like our longest piece was 28 foot yesterday. And then we have 3 that are 33 foot. So that would go from insulation to insulation. You know, let's just assume, and I ordered the same thing for there. And then we'll use scrap to go up the vertical face. But literally you can have 1 stick to go all the way across. So we're thinking about maybe next time we do a house that doesn't have so many rake walls. I talked to our engineer. He went and did the plant tour with me. We're thinking about doing single top plates where literally you order every top plate for the wall. If it's a 38-foot wall, then order a 38-foot top plate. So, also, one last thing. With the treated LVL from PWT, we do not have to use all of the special corrosion-resistant fasteners. And for those that maybe are unfamiliar with this product, here's the stamp. The way, and I got to go see this happen, the way that every single layer is glued together, like all LVL, well, the treatment is in the glue. You know what that means? That every single piece is treated from the inside out. So if you're unfamiliar with LVL, by the way, that's LVL. It's just a series of veneers that are laid out, glued together, like up to 66 feet and change. And then maybe here's a little bit better look. You can see how that's all pressed together, glued together. And there we go. And it's been used for a long time, so it's not like it's a new product. The treated part is new, proprietary to PWT. Oh, look at that. Kyle's, he's just handling along. Here, can you actually pick that up in the middle? Dude, feats of strength. So that is a 30, I think that's actually a 34 footer that was shipped. You couldn't do that with pressure treated wood. Look at that. I bet he works out.
I could.
Here, Jordan, get over here. Stat, move it. Stat. To me, hurry. I have to see if I'm strong enough. Build this.
Are you worthy?
Are you still filming?
Yes.
Dude, I could carry 2 of these. Hey, you gotta be centered. That is insanely long. Yeah, you just flip it and rotate it. Jordan, you think you can do it?
Maybe.
You are almost as strong as your brother. Wow, over the head. He beat us both. Excellent. Okay, we have identified who the full-time laborer will be now. Okay, so that is a control point. We're gonna call that CP for control point. It's probably pretty close. So we have 9.5-inch joist. That's pretty funny. So 9.5-inch joist. We want the joist to be flush with the top of the wall. So let's just say joist. Okay. Always double check yourself twice. So 9.5, 9 and 7. So then we're gonna have double top plates on the pony walls. So I'm gonna go 3 and 1/8 since everything always grows. So then the control point, so this is top of stud, that is top of top plate, double top plate, and that I-joist should plane out there. So stud height off of control point is 2 and 9/16. 2 and 9. Okay, so everything that we mark, the laser dot, we're gonna measure down 2 and 9/16. That all make sense?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then we'll go do that same thing on the other. Well, then we're gonna go do the same thing on the other side. Oh, we just have so much fun. All right, so now what we're doing is we're taking scrap pieces from our footing boards and we're gonna nail them vertical at every single corner, including the step down. And then what we're going to do is we're just gonna set the laser at each one, mark the control point, adjust that to the actual top of stud. What was that, 2 9/16? And we're gonna cut them off in place. That is going to allow us to run a string line corner to corner to corner to corner and take measurements for all of our studs. So even if our concrete at the bottom does this, the top is perfect. Take 19, hey, top of the afternoon, it's 1:02 and 8 seconds. I think this is literally the 4th time. So just to catch you up what we're doing, the wall height back there, top of mudsills, top of floor, measure down your floor joist, 9.5. Same thing right here. And then we shot in all the corners with the laser, and that is just, you know, that is gonna plane out everything that's a discrepancy in the concrete. Now the top's gonna be flat. Now there's 1,000 ways to do this. One, it would be ideal if we could use a chalk line, touch the material, we wouldn't have to measure everything. I'm measuring, calling out numbers to Jordan. Jordan's just using up scrap and cutting it in place. I'm not even laying out top plates. I'm just nailing things together and pulling parallel numbers, and that pulls everything to where it needs to be. And then, you know, we plumbed that one corner, but the little walls, you're not really gonna plumb them. All right, so we are laying out bottom plates for the strip footings. You can see that it's always a challenge to measure things when we have multiple heights. So if that guy was easy, it's parallel to the front. This guy is parallel there. So we just drew a plumb line, set up this dot laser. Let's see if I can, Jordan, put your finger right where it's at. Boom, there's the dot. Kyle, where's the dot? Right there. So we can just pivot it on this point, which is anchored, and now we have a dead straight line. And then, because it's PWT treated LVL, look at that. We don't even need a mark in the middle. It's dead straight.
Perfect.
Strip footings, we're bolting down all of the mudsill. We have to put this vapor retarder on now so that when this stuff goes in, it can be taped to it, meaning we can't snap lines, but we'll show you how we did that. With the treated LVL, it is so perfectly straight that once we have a reference, we just can measure at ends and just go for it.
Boom! Boom!
This stuff is so straight. One thing we love about this is how well your layout shows up. So that is the PWT treated LVL. It is bolted down with Titens and bearing plates. So you want to be an influencer. I've come back for life. You ever tried these? They're way better than Gatorade. All right, let's show you the thought process. So we have our strip footings with our studs that are cut right to the underside of the pony wall. Remember, the pony wall is down from that upper step by the amount of the floor joist. We have a string line that runs all the way across. We pinned these guys against the concrete. And then what we did is we ran a string line from the back to the front just to make sure, does this need to go up or down? And since this is basically the center strip wall, then what we want to do is pull the string tight and add about 1/8 of an inch. Roll that up to account for the sag. I'm okay with it being just a little bit tall. This wall, 16 feet in, goes up 2 stories all the way to the roof. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to compress just a little bit. So we're going to go up just a little bit. This string will go right over this, this stud, and then we'll just measure them all in. And then once that's done, I'll show you the next step. That's the story of my life. Boom.
58.10.
58.10.
58.6.
6.
58.4. 58.3. Hammer hand. A little bit taller. Wish I was a baller.
Okay, it don't take that guy long. So now that that wall is in and it's up just a tiny, tiny bit, that planes with that wall, this string line planes there, again, we're 9.5 plus 3 1/8 for the top plates, double top plates on this wall. We ran this guy tall. Now we want to plane everything. So we're got on the underside, let me just show you that. See how that is on the underside of those plates? So that's top of stud. And underside of plates. And there, now it's focused. See, it doesn't really move. So that means, let's see if we can see it here. You can see it a little bit better. Now we're planing that direction, right with Kyle. And what I'll do is just mark this guy right where we're at. We'll cut this stud off and then put this on top. Let's go check it over here, Kyle. All right, so we're off that section of front wall. Kyle's like, I don't know, 8 feet in. So just the tiniest bit. Let me try to zoom in.
String thickness.
Just the tiniest bit. So I think we're good. Hey Kyle, I think I might have handed you the wrong one, or else I cut it wrong. That one doesn't plane. It doesn't plane. Hey dude, I think I found the one I was supposed to have handed you.
I think I still would have been short.
That's true. Top of the afternoon to you, everybody. Well, actually, it's 11:43 and 40 seconds. Look at this kid. He is just nice. His focus is. And what's the training protocol there, Kyle?
You can dodge a ball. You can dodge hammer.
Look at that. All right. So after lunch, we have all the vapor retarder to roll out and tape the seams. We don't really want to do that later. I mean, we don't want to do it at all, but we feel like it's a lot easier to do it now. Whoa. But can you do that in a high heel? You know, I've seen that challenge. That is impressive.
Skills.
Can you do that, Kyle? Me neither.
Not at all.
You know, this new generation. Oh, yeah. If you could dodge the plastic bat, you can dodge other things. Look at that. This new generation, they got to film themselves doing everything.
Oh.
That guy over there. That guy. Hey, happy 1:28 p.m. You know, just assign the job to the framers already. Okay, there is the Viper CSX. It's not really what we want to be doing on a Friday, but it is Friday. However, check that out. So that is all the smoke from the staircase, the Fire Near Staircase campground. It's getting ominous. But breaks over back on my head. So what I'm standing on is a pony wall. They don't need to be 2x6. We're using 2x6 because that was our footing boards for the most part, except for the top plates in some cases. If we just use the footing boards one and done, scrape them, use them up here, and then we don't have to pack them off to the next job. So this is 2x6 pony wall that is on PWT treated. This is, by the way, is a single 32-foot long piece of treated LVL. And then we attach that to the strip footings with Simpson Strong-Tie Titan HDs and the 3x3 bearing plates. Okay, now behind me, we have a post and beam detail, which is how we used to frame crawl spaces. We poured that footing wider. And the reason is you notice the exterior insulation.
That's 4 inches of mineral wool insulation. We have to be able to support our floor joists and have them plane out with the top of the mud sill. There's no hanger that's going to allow us to do that. Originally, we wanted to build pony walls there, but when we submitted this plan in the sealed crawl space, the inspector insisted on a perimeter of 2 foot by 4 foot mineral wool insulation. Thankfully, we talked him out of that once we took pictures of this thing as it is, and he said, yep, I see what you're saying, we don't need to do it. So we could have framed a pony wall back there, long story short. That's a PWT LVL. It's like a roughly 3.5 by 7.25. You just call it 4 by 8 on treated posts. Then it's anchored solid to the footing with Simpson ABU post bases and Titens. Okay, happy Friday, everybody. We're done for the day. It's been just hot and muggy. Brian and I just got done filming some stuff about the sealed crawl space. So here's what we're looking at. We've got that section to do, a little bit of patching, but there is the Viper CSX product, taping the seams. We're actually running the double-sided tape, and then we run that, we can put the horizontal stuff over the strip footing stuff and roll it, and it sticks really well. So it's a little tedious. So Monday we are getting recertified for forklift, so I'm gonna have to move inspection to Wednesday. It's just how it all goes. So happy Friday. Okay, so I am 32 foot 2 3/4. 2 foot 2 3/4. Okay, so I'm just going to play this pony wall framing in real time, and we'll explain the process as we go. Because we have the vapor retarder down on top of that footing, we can't exactly snap lines and have it do any good. Here's the advantage of the long treated LVL, is that I can just measure 3 spots total at the ends and once in the middle, and it's nice and straight between it. Now again, that's the Max HN120 high pressure concrete nailer. It's fantastic for nailing wood to concrete or steel really fast. You got to order a special nail for it. It's pinned in place. It's going to hold that vapor retarder, but I'm not going to put any Titens in yet. I need to know where my stud layout goes so that none of them land on my bolts and bearing plates. Okay, 6 foot, 2 foot on center. I'm going to go back 3/4 for the stud, 71/12. Oh, good Lord, that is like dead on the money. Okay, let's do that again. Double check. Always double check yourself twice. Okay, so come on now. So I'm gonna go 71.25. I'm gonna dance this thing, pivoting on my hand, 71.25, right on my mark. Okay, so I want to do my layout after the plate is pinned, and I want to do my layout so that none of my Titens or bearing plates land where my framing needs to land. So you saw how I did that, just hook the outside. Again, that's our reference point we've been talking about. I measure whatever I did, center of the stud and adjust, or in this case it's 2x framing, so I would adjust off center to get to a side mark, half the thickness of that framing material. So now our joists are 2 foot on center. I'm gonna go ahead and lay out studs 2 foot on center. Then I go ahead and I select nice top plates.
Probably right here.
I want 2x6 Doug fir that is pretty, because that's going to, one, keep a straighter top plate and just make it easier to work. So I'm going to lay all of those layout marks. I'm going to transfer those to my top plates, and you'll see that I've decided to split that right over a stud. That is no longer a code requirement with double top plates, but old habits die hard. There's really no reason not to do that. So you see how my plate is all laid out? Now I can come through and I can drill out for my Titens. Again, we want to retrofit all this stuff because those anchor bolts, if we cast them in place, they would have just been in our way this entire time. We would have been tripping on them. We would have needed to protect from impalement hazard. It is a hassle. So even though the Titens are more money, total installed costs, I should say it's more money in materials, the total installed cost, maybe it's a hair more.
It was nowhere as good as your throw.
It's just not by the time we factor in everything else. Also buy them online, buy them in bulk. Get that price down as low as you can.
34.3, 34.4, 34.5, 34.4,
34.4. All right, let's get into some pro tips for the actual framing. So first of all, you notice that we ran a string line. We took all measurements. Again, concrete can be like this. Top needs to be flat. I just want to keep making that gesture. I put one in the middle. We add an 1/8 to 3/16. That takes out any string sag. Measure them all in place to the 16th. Now, I put every one of them exactly where I want it to go, so I want to stay in rhythm with whatever I'm doing. So now as I'm nailing them in place, you notice that I'm toenailing. I'm alternating 2 toenails on one side, 1 on the left, depending on which hand my gun is in, where I set it. So on some of them, it's 2 on the left, some it's 2 on the right. I'm just trying to be as minimal as I can be with the tool. Now, speaking of the tool, that is the Max HN90F high pressure framing nailer. We bought into the Max system back in 2008. I first reviewed it for the Journal of Light Construction in 2003. Super lightweight, that's why they need the higher pressure. It was an investment in our bodies. Some benefits that we got, well, it's easy to clear jams. So coil nails, I'll figure out how many are per coil. You gotta take the box, take the quantity divided by the number of coils. Generally it's around 250. For some reason, and this particular brand, we're buying from Nail Gun Depot, and they're the SureFit brand. The wire was just a little bit long in the way that it came off, and sometimes that wire would just kind of get in the way. But a Strong-Tie 5-inch SDWS timber screw makes it pretty easy. So you see, it's not really a problem with the gun, it's just the wire. Didn't allow it to advance. What would that take, a minute to fix? Getting text messages on my watch. I don't allow anything to be pushed to my watch besides text messages and email, because those are important. Okay, now top plates. Remember I had the layout done at the bottom. This is only going to work if the wall is plumb, right? But it will be plumb enough. Now, I am a right or correct-handed framer. I use the nail gun in my non-dominant hand because I'm going to use my right hand and my hammer to drive things flat and also hold the material. So notice that I can push it with my hammer, I can pull it, I can hold it in place. All of that keeps my hands out of the way. Takes a little bit of practice at first to use your non-dominant hand with the nailer. And I also want to beat things tight. You notice that again, all that framing came out of the footing boards, but the top plates, if you select them for straight, it just makes the whole process easier. And I'll show you that when we nail the double top plates. 3 nails, these are 3 inches long by 0.131 inch in diameter. The thinner nail is easier to drive in Doug fir. It's also less likely to split. The consequence of it being a little bit smaller, we have to use more of them. By the way, this is all in Chapter 6 in the International Residential Code. I'm leaving this all in real time so you can see that I am not going at a breakneck speed. I'm trying to make my moves count, and I'm just trying to make it as simple as possible. Did you see that? Hammer sleeve, Badger tool bags, the best nail bags that are available, in my personal opinion. Okay, double top plates. You notice that I am not going to nail over every stud as I go, because I want to use my left hand in this case for leverage to kind of push things, because I want it to be nice and smooth. So you see, sometimes I'll kind of jump ahead a little bit. You need a few more nails on either side of the splits, so that's nice and smooth, but you can see there's a gap there, so we're going to try to whale it down. And now I can push that and plumb it up. That also helps to keep the entire wall straight. We didn't even have to brace these. I think we braced 1. The rest of them were real pretty. Now, what I just did right there by nailing it between the bays, as a general rule, you don't want to do that because plumbing pipes need to come up, HVAC ducting, etc. None of that is the case in this crawl space, so I'm not going to take the time to cut that and split it over a stud. Here's the reload process. It really isn't a process. 3 nails. Try to space them somewhat equally, but you don't have to be super anal about this, as I am not being super anal about this. And I can hear that there was a misfire. So anyway, we're done. That's all there is to that. Hammer flip for the win. I thought these were supposed to flush up. Why aren't these flush?
Whenever whenever I'm about to do something, I think, would an idiot do that? And if they would, I do not do that thing.
Hey, top of the morning to everybody. So we are doing our level best to get this thing crammed. So the rim is set. Now you can see that the rim, let's see it over there too. Now keep in mind, this is Jordan's first time with I-joist, and he is a master blocker. All right, I have excellent news. So I emailed the inspector. They're not normally out here. I think I already said this. Out here, they're really good to work with out here. It really simplifies things. That's really a lifesaver. So there's the insulation, pony walls, blocking, all that good stuff. And then we've got beam underneath bearing wall. So we got this LVL, and then these are hallway walls, LVLs. We probably saw that yesterday. We had that all done. So not too bad. This was so much faster than last time.